It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Yo, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again, Real Kids TV in the house like kitchen sinks. Now, before I get into this afternoon's video, if you will, understand that I'm the self-proclaimed Mr. 30 Minutes or Better, meaning that anytime I drop you a story, it's guaranteed to be 30 minutes or better. So if you're on your way to work, you're at work, you don't feel like being there, as we so often don't. You're on your way home from work, you need to laugh, you need to cry. Perhaps you need to lay down and take a nap, or you're trying to go to sleep at night, depending on whatever time you're listening to or viewing this video, or you're just in the mood for a good old-fashioned true, keyword being true, penitentiary / life story / life experience. If you prefer your 8 to 12 to 15-minute videos, absolutely nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But at Real Kids TV, it's 30 minutes or better. So with all that being said, with all that being wrapped up into one big old nut shell, that is, there is a message. You know, I've often jumped on here and told about different scenarios, as far as prison and how much game is being ran in prison. And before I, go further with the story, jump in the comment section. Let me know where you're chiming in from. I'm in Lexington, Kentucky now. Currently, I'm in Nashville, Tennessee at the moment. Shout out to Nashville, Tennessee, a.k.a. Tennessee, you know what I mean? Came down here for a few days for Valentine's Day or what have you. But, yeah, jump in the comment section and let me know what city and state you represent. But as I was mentioning, prison is one of those things, and I'm not justifying getting over on anyone. I'm not attempting to say that, you know what, you have to do whatever you have to do, even if it involves hurting someone else to survive in prison. The fact of the matter is, a lot of people, that's their demeanor, that's their disposition, any means necessary. One of the biggest hustles in prison, man, is I know at one particular time, is those websites, lonely inmate websites. You know what I mean? Basically, that it worked back then. You could have money actually sent off of your prison account. If you didn't have money, those sites accept stamps. So if you wanted to create a profile, let's just say you wanted one picture, it may cost you $10 a month. You want 2 pictures, okay, it may cost you $15 a month. So the more pictures that you had and the more that was in your bio, as far as talking about you and the, things that you like and things of that nature, they charge you per month, and you would just have to send that in. And the whole thing was to get a hit. Now, when I say to get a hit, meaning you're on this website and boom, you got mail. Jones, you got mail. You go to get your mail. Oh man, I got a hit. You open your mail up. It's somebody that's responded to your prison profile. There's a dude named Mark. Mark was somewhat of a smooth operator. Mark, he was in prison. He had a young lady that was already coming to see him, but it was just one of those things to where, see, when you're in prison, relationships are tumultuous. Hell, relationships can be tumultuous when you're not in prison. So just imagine creating that distance between the two of you all. You have so many expectations for, the woman that's holding you down, when in all actuality, it's not even her job to hold you down. She didn't make you go to prison. It's not her responsibility, but they love us so much that they're going to send money when they can. Sometimes they're going to send their last. They're going to come and visit us knowing that they don't really have the gas to come and see us, or sometimes they don't even have a car. They have to figure out. I've seen people catch the bus and walk. The bus stop was like a mile from the prison. So she would catch the bus, and then the final mile and a half, she would walk up to the prison. That's how bad she wanted to see her man. And so you got this individual, Mark, and his woman, she's kind of in and out. She's tired of him going to prison. She's found out about different women that, he had encountered while in the relationship. And that's never a good time for a woman to find these things out while you're in prison. It's best that you don't do them, period. But when a woman finds out something that you've done and you're in prison, oh man, that, what's R. Kelly say? When the woman's fed up It ain't nothing you can do about it. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Ain't nothing you can say. There's nothing that you can do to get her to change her mind. So, fellas, you might want to be mindful of that, respectfully. As I mentioned, Mark gets a hit on the prison website. Now, on this prison website, they give you an option. Okay, are you a straight man or are you a gay man? Well, a lot of guys, what they'll do, not all guys, but what I've seen is a lot of guys, they'll set up a profile on both sides, straight and gay. They don't care who's sending them the money. They just need to, they need to survive. So they're going to play their role. They're going to say and do anything that they want to do, or need to do, rather, to get that money sent in. Prison gets very, very lonely. So the fact that somebody will write you a letter, that will carry you through at least half the week. A letter alone will carry you. And then, you got a visit coming, for the weekend or whatever. So things like that are not necessarily as important to us out here on the streets. In prison, they're very, very, very important. Mark gets this hit, and it's from an individual. It's from a lady. They get to talking. They send each other letters a couple times, Well, the thing about it, what's coming next is, as much as I love communicating with you, I found myself just thinking about you every day. I found myself just really, really just, I don't know, I'm in tune, man. Like just everything that you're telling me, everything. It's going to be hard for me to continue to communicate with you because I don't really have the stamps. I don't really have the stamps to keep writing back. That's how tough it is on me here in prison. Everybody done pretty much turned their backs on me. So, it takes money to communicate. Well, at this point, as I mentioned, there's 3-4 letters in. So, she's becoming more and more, I guess, interested. He's paying attention to every intricate detail. Everything about her, everything that she likes, she don't like. How was your day? Most dudes out here, we not asking our women. And I'm not saying all dudes, but a dude in jail is going to pay way more attention to a woman because he's locked up in jail, man. Y'all rock with me. Sometimes y'all be asking me what am I drinking. It just depends. I switch it up. Like today, I'm drinking water. I just didn't want to drink out this big ass bottle, so I just poured it in my cup. You feel me? Come on, Kens, man. Watch you drink water, motherfucker. Hey, look, man. It's 30 minutes or better. So you got to kick back, kick your feet up, and relax, man. We ain't in no rush. And shout out to all the truck drivers out there, man. Shout out to the medical supply people. Shout out to the barbers. Shout out to the beauticians. Shout out to the contractors, the roofers, the electricians, the carpenters. Shout out to the housekeepers. Shout out to the dudes or the women that clean the swimming pool. Shout out to the concrete workers. Shout out to any and everybody that's doing whatever you have to do to make ends meet. A lot of times they say, Kens, man, watching one of your videos, man, it really got me through my last, 45 minutes. Or I had 3 hours left and I watched 3 or 4 of your videos and boom, it was time for me to go home. Much love, much salute to you. But nevertheless, you got Mark, he's spilling, he's running game. That's his way of asking for money. Now, all of a sudden, this lady, we'll just call her Liz. That wasn't her name, but we'll just refer to her as Liz. Now, Liz is sending money on the regular. They're actually talking on the phone. Liz didn't live in the same state as Mark. So basically what they do in prison is, let's just say like in Lexington, our area code is 859. Well, for me to call 502, which is Louisville, shout out to Louisville, Kentucky, or for me to call any state or any area code outside of mine, it's going to be a long distance call. Prison is about exploiting people, exploiting inmates. So a call may run you 10, 12, $15 for a 15-minute call. So what you do is you have her go and get her like just a little generic phone or what have you, with your area code. In my particular case, like I said, it's 859. So that way, anytime that I call, they're local calls. The calls are $2 a call opposed to $15 a call. It's a big, big difference. Everything's going smooth. Everything is, everything is everything. She comes to see him. She's coming to see him maybe once a month. Basically, what she would do is she would get her a hotel room and she would stay the whole weekend. You got Saturday, you got Sunday. Visits from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Now, you can't stay out there the entire time. I've seen times where people have. It just depends on how busy, the visitations are. Well, remember, Mark already had another, his baby's mama or what have you. She was in and out of the picture. So, one day she's there, one day she's not. So, he would have to really maneuver around, her visits and because he didn't want both people. I've seen that happen in prison. Both women show up at the same time on visit. Oh, man, it was not good. It was not good whatsoever. You definitely don't want that to happen. So she's coming to see him. She's sending him money. She rides with him, man. When I say rides with him, I'm talking about she sticks by his side. Elizabeth, she sticks by his side for about a good solid 3 years. She lives 5 or 6 hours away. He's giving her all these false promises, all these false hopes. When you come home, or when I come home, rather, we're going to be together. I'm going to marry you. And she's really, really biting. She's really, she's falling for it. The Willy Bobo. That's what we call it, man. The Willy Bobo. And it's not something that's really funny, because when you think about it, who wouldn't fall for something like that? Think about it. If you dealing with an individual for 3 or 4 years and it's on a regular basis, they're coming to see you, they're coming to send in money, you're telling them you're going to marry them, who wouldn't believe that? Liz, she definitely believed it. Came time for Mark to get out. Mark ghosted her. When I say ghost, he's gone. She don't hear from me. She don't know what's going on. Originally, she didn't even know that he had gotten out, but she noticed, like, after a couple weeks, there was no phone calls, there was no letters. I wonder what's going on. She calls up to the prison to, out of concern, come to find out, Mark been gone. At this point, it's been about 3 weeks. Mark has been gone. She don't know what is going on. She's heartbroken. One day, her phone rings just out of the blue. It's Mark. She's upset, but she's concerned at the same time. Like, I haven't heard from you, baby. I mean, why would you not tell me that you got out of prison? Why would you? Nah, baby, it wasn't even like that. See, what happened was they ended up letting me out early, good behavior. I didn't realize that I was going to be getting out. And when they did let me out, they kind of sent me like to a halfway house or whatever. And I was just trying to get on my feet. I was just a little down in the dumps because I didn't want to go to a halfway house. I didn't have anything. Yeah, but you could have called me. Why didn't you call me? Well, baby, I'm calling you now. I understand it's been a few weeks, but it's better late than never. I'm sorry. I apologize. It won't happen again. But baby, I need you right now. I don't got nothing. I don't have anything. I need you. Like she's always done. She made sure he was good. She sends him some money. Now, back then, it was like Western Union. It wasn't Cash App and all of these things. So, she sends him some money. She makes sure that he's good. Well, as time passes, Liz starts to realize that it seems like the only time that I hear from my baby is when he needs some money, when he needs something. I can't understand that. Like, what, and every single time, he would talk her out of sending the money. After several times of that, something's not right. Something is definitely not right. Mark doesn't want to tell Liz what halfway house that he's in. Mark doesn't want to tell Liz any information. Well, like any reasonable adult, any reasonable person would do, guess what? You start to do your investigation. Okay, halfway houses in this city. And you get the information and you call and come to find out, Mark's not even in the halfway house. Mark had an answer for everything. No, baby, I was, but they let me out and I'm staying over here for now. But I promise you, so where are you staying at? I'm staying with my cousin, man. I'm just staying with some family or whatever. Lie after lie. She continues to bite. She continues to send money. Well, baby, I need to see you. When can I come and see you? He got an excuse for every single thing. As I mentioned, she lived 5 or 6 hours away. So if she came to see him, it would be one of those situations to where, they would stay in a hotel. But baby, what happened to you moving up here? You said that, she lived in like Georgia somewhere. You said that once you got home and you got on your, you got everything situated or whatever, that we were going to get married and you was going to move up here. I mean, I've been more than patient with you. I've been more than understanding. I mean, what is the issue? One thing about lying, you tell one lie, you got to tell another lie. Then you got to tell another lie. And it just gets to the point to where your whole signals get crossed because you've told so many lies, you can't even keep everything together as far as, the stories that you've told. Mark will go on to disappear several more times, only to call, a few weeks later, a month or so later, what have you. And finally, Liz said, you know what? Enough is enough. I told you she did an investigation or what have you. Well, she started to dig and dig and dig and come to find out, Mark's back with his baby's mama. The address that Mark said he lived at, no, it wasn't his cousin, which he never told her the actual address, but she found it out. One thing about a woman, man, and I say this in the most respectful manner, she's going to dig and she's going to do her research. And once she does her research and she starts to, really, really get into it, anything that she wants to find out, she's definitely going to find out, man. Y'all rock with me. She decides, okay, you want to play games? You want to play games? Well, I'm going to pull up. I'm going to show up. She shows up at the house one day. Luckily for Mark, he answers the door and his baby's mama's she's not there. A couple of his kids are there, but she's not there. She confronts him. You know how to show the cheaters? It was one of those situations, just wasn't with the cameras and all the extra people. She confronts him. She's asking him, why did you lie to me? Why did you tell me this? Why did you tell me that? And, it just turned into another lie. Everything was a lie. Well, I got a hotel room and I need to see you or whatever. I need to see you. I'm here for a week and I need to see you. Mark's devastated. He's shocked. He's angry just as well. You're just going to show up at my crib like this, man. You know what I mean? Like, I know you, like, how you just gonna literally just show up at my crib? He goes over there. He kicks it with her, a couple of days. She's mad because she wants him to be over there every night. He's telling her, nah, man, I'm just here because I ain't have nowhere else to go and I didn't know how to tell you. Me and my baby's mama, we've been done. We haven't been messing around for a while. I'm sorry I lied. Once again, I'm sorry I lied. I didn't know how to tell you. I didn't have nowhere else to go, so I just, I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry. That's okay. I forgive you. But listen, are you coming back with me? Like, you really need to come back with me. I'm going to come, baby, but I got these kids and yeah, but that's not what we discussed. That's not what we talked about, baby. We talked about us getting married. I got the house ready. I got you, all type of things. What is, have things changed and your feelings changed? After everything that I've done for you? After I done stuck by your side for all these years that you did in prison? And I didn't even know you? If things have changed, just let it be. No. See, Mark was trying to once again string her along because she was the money. She had all the bread. Now, she wasn't rich by any stretch of the imagination, but she was going to make sure that Mark was good. So instead of him just telling her, like, listen, man, nah, this is not going to work out. Nah, he kept stringing Liz along. She ends up going back. She's happy. She's gotten to see everything wasn't going exactly as planned, but he's keeping her head, yeah, I'm coming, baby. Just let me get some things in order. Let me get some things together. I'm definitely coming. Another 3 or 4 months or so passes by. Where you at? I thought you was coming up here. Well, baby, it's just one of those things, man. I don't know how to tell you this, because I don't want to hurt your feelings, man. I got love for you, man. You're a beautiful woman. And let me give you the description of Liz. Liz was a white woman. She was about, Liz was about 5'5", had to weighed about 320, 330. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. I'm just trying to paint a picture so you all would, be able to see what Liz actually looked like. Liz was probably in her 40s at the time. And As you all can probably already imagine, Mark just wasn't physically attracted to her. It was always about the companionship, and it was always about the money. That was his whole objective. Now here it is, this lady done found out where he lives at. Now I've told other stories somewhat similar to this. Playing with people's feelings, playing with people's hearts. Don't say nothing when they play with yours. When they get to doing their research and they realize, okay, this is this individual, this is where he lives at, this is I can find him. Okay. Same scenario that happened here. A few months passes by, as I've already mentioned, and she comes back to the house. This time when she comes back to the house, Mark's not there, but the baby's mama's there. She's talking to the baby's mama about the situation or whatever. It was a little uncomfortable initially because just imagine somebody knocks on your door and it's a complete stranger. You don't know who they are. They don't know who you are. So you all are sitting there and you all are talking, but you've never seen or heard of this person a day in your life. Liz is telling the baby's mama about everything, how long they've been kicking it, how long, the plans to get married, So the baby's mama is like, getting married? We just got married. Liz is like, what? She's like, yeah, we just got married. We went to the courthouse a couple months ago, so there's no way that he's possibly planning to marry you because we've already gotten married. Liz understands. Should have been known. I think she already knew, but now it's really starting to register with her. It's really starting to resonate with her. This guy has just been playing with my heart, running game on me the entire time. Wow. Okay. That's cool. Mark is upset because obviously he's going to get the business. When I say he's going to get the business, meaning that when he comes home, baby's mama, she's extremely upset. So Mark has to break the story down to her like, nah, baby, it wasn't even anything like it. It was just when I was inside and I ain't want you to just be, having to send all your money and just be totally relying on you. But women don't want to hear that. Nah. See, women, they definitely don't want to hear that. One of the things that I learned about a woman is when you incarcerated and they're not able to do certain things and they found out that another woman is doing the things that's, I don't necessarily want to say he's picking up their slack. It's like, oh, okay. So let that bitch handle it then. Let that bitch. But no, it's not even like that, ladies. What it more so boils down to is, listen, you need money in jail. That's just the bottom line. You're not going to sit in jail and just starve. So if you have an individual that's willing to send you $20, $30, $40 a week, you're going to take that. But at the same time, there's a price that comes along with that. You know what I mean? There's a I guess it could be looked upon as risk versus reward. Yeah, if you're using an individual for their finances and things of that nature, there's going to be a consequence. And in this exact situation, it was a consequence. Mark tried to explain it to his woman, but Mark wasn't necessarily listening to what his woman was telling him. Baby's mama ended up turning into wifey. Nobody does anything for nothing. Your average person, every once in a while you run across a person that they'll just do something simply because it's just doing out of the grace of their heart, the goodness of their heart. But 9.999 times out of 10, nobody does anything for absolutely nothing. Liz is not, as I mentioned, she's not taking this very well. Liz feels like, okay, you play with my heart, you play with my mind, you play with my soul, you play with my finances, you play with everything that I had, my future, everything that I had planned for us. With Denzel saying that Training Day, my nigga. That's how she felt. And I'm going to get you. She played it cool. She didn't talk to you. She didn't been to your house. Talk to you directly. She didn't been to your house again. Talk to a baby's mama / wife / woman that I had nothing, no knowledge of whatsoever. So guess what? Now it's my turn. Hey, baby, I need to talk to you. I understand all the things that we've gone through. I understand that you was in prison, you was lonely, you didn't have anybody. And somewhere along the lines, feelings developed. And pushing it even further, pushing the envelope even further. Somewhere a relationship, seemingly, in her mind, quote unquote, in her mind, Liz's mind, a relationship developed. I understand everything that you had to deal with. I understand why you lied to me. I don't like it, but I get it. I'm willing to be second fiddle. I'm willing to be the woman that's, when you have time for me, that's all I ask. Just make some time for me, baby. Just make some time. But I need to see you. Listen, I just got this money. Her little lawsuit that I was dealing with or whatever, I didn't really speak upon it because I didn't know if I was going to get it. But I got it. And I want to, I want to bless you. I want to bless you. I want to come and see you. Perhaps you can just get a night. I know you can't spend 2, 3, 4 nights with me. But if you can just get a night. And I need you to, I'm coming down your way. I need you to meet me. We're going to get a hotel room if possible. And so Liz is speaking Mark's language. He's not thinking anything about Liz. He's not thinking anything about Liz's feelings. He's thinking about that money, that moolah. Young moolah, baby. He's thinking about that brethren. Yeah, that bread. As you all can see in the middle of my video, I'm no longer in Tennessee. I'm back in Kentucky in the background. As you can see, it's plenty of snow from the background that you all can see. The minute depiction, if you will, that you can see. But nevertheless, Miss Liz was determined to get her get back. I don't know why I refer to her as Miss Liz. Maybe because she was older at the time, and I respect my elders. So it was Liz, but sometimes I refer to her as Miss Liz. There you go, Kens. Making up motherfucking names again and shit. First you said Liz, now you say Miss Liz. Which one is it? Man, because she's I'm respectful of my elders. I'm respectful of all peoples. They meet. They kick it for the night. She got the whole plot. Hey, baby, let me see your keys. I want to... Actually, let's rewind that. We're going to do the manual rewind, which I rarely do because Hassan Campbell stole my manual rewind shit, and he got like 500,000 subscribers. So, I mean, nobody really knows he stole that from me. But shout out to Hassan Campbell. She grabbed his keys when he was asleep. She went and planted a bag in his car. A bag and a gat, a Glock, a gun, a chipe, pistola, whatever you want to refer to it. Something that he was not supposed to have. Had no clue that she had gone out to the car and planted that. Next day when it was time to leave, what have you, a little bit before it was time to leave, she had already made the call. There's protocol that police have to follow when they pull you over and then when they search your car, but typically they don't. They're going to say, we smell marijuana. You look nervous. Can we search your car? You got to understand, Mark felt as though when the police approached him, yeah, search my car. I don't got nothing. Mark didn't have anything in his car. They searched the car, found the pistola. They found the work, the drugs. Hold on, that ain't mine. That ain't mine. Now, is it not yours? This is where we found it at. It's the vehicle you driving. It's the vehicle that's how's it not yours? Take him to the police station. He's trying to talk his way out of it. You can never talk your way out of an interrogation room unless you're going to cooperate. And even then, from what I've heard, from what I understand, There's no get out of jail free cards going on anymore. You're going to go do some time. It's just about how much time you actually want to do. See, you got a lot of people that try to, man, I went and did my time. I could have went home. They're lying. Because if a motherfucker could go home, opposed to doing 20 years, he's going to go home. That's just the reality of the situation, man. So when a motherfucker, you hear them saying that shit, know that they're lying. Go do 20 years in a pen, or I can go home right now. Keep it all the way true. 100. Real Kens TV is what it's all about. Just keeping it real. And so he ends up going to jail. He's calling her, Liz. She's acting as though she doesn't know anything about this situation whatsoever. She can't incriminate herself. When it was all said and done, Mark ended up having to take 15 years. 15 years in the feds. There's a distinct difference between the state and the feds. See, if you get 15 years in the state, in Kentucky anyway, I don't know how it is in you all states, but in Kentucky, you do 20% of your time. Now, I understand that certain states don't have parole. But in Kentucky, you do 15% of your time, 20% of your time, as long as it's not violent. 3 years, go for parole. That's the state. The feds picked this case up. You end up having to cop out, plead out to 15 years, which means you're going to do 12 at the very, very, very least. About 12 years. Because they got like one drug class that'll knock certain time, off your sentence or what have you. But it's not very much. And they ended up getting 15 years in the feds. And that was her get back, her revenge, her retaliation. As I look back at this situation, I try to look at it from a perspective of being unbiased. Was Liz wrong, Miss Liz? Or was Mark ultimately wrong? They were both wrong, but who was ultimately wrong the most? If that makes any sense to you. I would have to say that although I don't agree with what Liz did, Mark was wrong. You can't play with people's hearts and just think that just because you say, I'm sorry, baby, it wasn't like that. No, you can't do that. You can't. Everybody can't shake things off the way that perhaps you can just shake things off. There's a price to pay for dealing with people's emotions and dealing with people's feelings. We got a lot of guys in prison. Like I said, they jump on these websites. They jump on the gay side. Nothing wrong with the gays whatsoever. Nothing wrong with it. But if you're not gay, don't project yourself. Don't put yourself in that category, because just because a person is gay, what do you think? They don't have a heart? They don't have a mind? They don't have feelings? And you're using them for some money, but their feelings, they don't care about the money ultimately. But the feelings become involved, and it's just like, whoa, you gonna play me like that? There's been other stories that I've told about this. A couple other stories to where the person ended up being unalived. Rather, they've unalived the individual that played with their heart, or they unalived themselves. The fact of the matter is, don't play with nobody's heart. And if you're not into them that way, if you want to be single, if you want to be, just let them know. I understand prison is, you got to do what you got to do, but ultimately, look what happened. Look what happened in this situation. Was it remotely worth it? No. Everybody's not playing with a full deck. Everybody, we feel a certain type of way. Oh, I would just walk away. But you have to understand, everybody's not like that. As difficult as it may be to you to recognize, everybody's not like that. So be mindful of a person's feelings and heart that you playing with, because that person's heart that you've been playing with, they just may come for you. And when they do, ain't no I'm sorry, baby. Ain't no I didn't mean it. No. You play with me, so guess what? Now it's time to play with you. Be mindful. Real Kids TV. Hopefully you like the video. Feel free to comment, definitely share, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action, this is heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive. Real Kids TV.